Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and now you're all having a great day. As a very quick side note, this video is going to be exclusively about Coinbase, market manipulation, and XRP. If these topics do not concern you or you do not care about them, please feel free to exit the building because this video is going to get very intense very fast. I had a long conversation with a good friend of mine last night and what he said literally blew my mind. So I thought I needed to make a video on this and to elaborate a bit more. To start off, you all know the old story. Coinbase has said since around the beginning of this year that they won't be adding any new coins because they are not certain about the regulatory clarity of coins that are on the market. They said that they know the for what it's worth, they knew about Bitcoin, they knew about Litecoin. They were unsure about Ethereum, which was passed by the SEC. They also said that they knew that Bitcoin Cash was fine and that they now are going to be listing Ethereum Classic. And then since this entire time, they have not added XRP. And for the longest time, their answer is that they did not know if XRP was a security because they needed proper regulatory clarity from the SEC in order to do so. So, like I said, this is going to get very intense very fast. Hang on for the ride because what my friends, like I said, it completely changed my entire outlook on everything. Yesterday, there was news from or about Brad Garlinghouse because he recently spoke with Fortune magazine. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has called on Coinbase to add XRP to its supported cryptocurrencies. He said this in a chat with Fortune on June 21st, 2018. According to the Ripple CEO, Coinbase will profit a great deal by listing XRP tokens on its exchange platform. Ripple is the third ranked cryptocurrency based on market cap. Despite its popularity, Coinbase is yet to offer support for the second biggest altcoin in the market. Commenting on the issue, Garlinghouse said, "As we solve problems at scale for institutions, I think it's in Coinbase's interest to participate in that." This is if you've paid attention to any of my other videos, if you read XRP news, if you read Garlinghouse news, if you read Ripple news, you will notice something very interesting about this entire area. As of late, Garlinghouse has never, ever actually called out Coinbase, telling them to list XRP. Over the last couple of months, when Coinbase kept on saying that they did not know if XRP was a security, they just couldn't list it, Garlinghouse has constantly said over and over and over, he said it's up to the SEC to decide, and he says, I hope that we get some type of regulatory clarity, and I won't comment on the Coinbase issue. He is a very, for what it's worth, a crypto political guy. If you've seen him talking before, he is very PC in what he says. He makes sure to not step on any toes in any way. This is the first actual time that he has actually called out Coinbase specifically about them not adding his coin. There's a bit more down here, and it has to do with what Ripple does, blah, 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 and them adding Ethereum Classic. So here it goes. When I was chatting with my friend yesterday, we were talking about the market going down, why the market was going down, and how it just made no sense. Nothing really kind of correlated with it. And then he started talking about regulatory issues within the cryptocurrency space. He sent me a link that I believe I spoke about yesterday when the market was going down about Japan having, their regulators. I think they stopped 6 cryptocurrency exchanges and they were telling them, you can't do this, you can't do that. And we were talking about regulations in the cryptocurrency space, and then XRP came into the list because XRP to date is still apparently in this regulatory gray space. My friend said, and listen to this very clearly, the entire time that we've been talking about regulations, what has the SEC constantly come forward and said? The SEC has always said that their main priority in the cryptocurrency space is to protect investors, to help investors know what they are getting into, and to stop the sale of any type of securities that may be unregulated or illegal in America to protect other investors. From the get-go, Ripple, not the coin, Ripple the company, has made sure that they are going to be the most regulated coin on the market. They made sure that everything that they do has been overseen at some point because the people on their board of directors are people who make the rules in America. These are regulators. They know exactly what's going on. He said, don't you think it's weird that they have called out specific ICOs that were number 114 on CoinMarketCap, ICOs that were, number 48, number whatever, but they didn't call out the number 3 coin specifically, and especially because they called out the other ICOs saying that they were securities. Don't you think it's odd that they didn't call out the number 3 coin, this multi-billion-dollar company, as being a security? Don't you think it's odd that Ripple has been around, the company and the coin has been around for around 4 to 5 years, and over the course of this 4 to 5 years, they've said nothing to them? And even when talks started last year around June, July, August of regulatories getting into the cryptocurrency space and them stopping, bad things happening to investors, that they not once mentioned XRP or stopping XRP from being sold to other people. Think about what that means. Over the course of a 5-year period, or even shorter if you want to cut it down to exactly a year from where we are right now, not one mention has been made by the SEC by stopping XRP from being sold to other people as an unregistered, illegal, or unlicensed security. Doesn't that seem kind of odd to you? This goes back to what Coinbase was saying. I have a firm belief, and it's pretty much basic knowledge, all of these people know each other. The entire thing comes down to all of these people go to the same meetings. They all know each other. They all talk to the exact same regulators. When it comes to regulations and what's going on, they're all in the loop. Ripple Garlinghouse has never ever called anyone out or ever told anyone to specifically list XRP because they kept on saying that it was a security. I'm almost certain at this point that someone has come up to every single player in this game and has told them exactly, specifically, that XRP is not a security. Going even further on this, for those who don't know, the people behind Coinbase and behind Gemini, the Winklevoss twins, they hold a huge, and I mean a significant amount of Bitcoin and Ethereum specifically. They got into these coins very, very early. The Winklevoss twins are noted as saying that they got into Bitcoin when it was around $1. I think they own around 250,000 BTC, if not more at this point. This was a number that was quoted around 2014, 2015, how many that they had. And I'm sure as the dips have been happening, they've only been accumulating more. They've also spoken positively about Ethereum as well, because they were also able to snag a whole bunch of them. What people don't know is that there was a bit of a rift at some point between the people of Coinbase, Garlinghouse, and the Winklevoss twins. For some reason, I don't know why. I do not know these people. They do not really care for each other. In the same exact note, I don't think people understand how correlated all of this stuff actually is. The person who made Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, actually used to work for Coinbase at some point. He didn't care for what they did. He also used to work for the same exact people who are developing Bitcoin, and he said he did not like what they were doing, and he created Ethereum. He used to also work for Ripple. These people all know each other. They used to all work together. Like, everyone in the space, they all know each other. So it's all coordinated. At some point, Garlinghouse did something to piss other people off, or they just did not like what he was doing anymore. And this is my firm belief why they have not added Ripple. The people who are working on Stellar also worked with Ripple before, and they decided to make their own coin and split off, and this is now why we have Stellar. At the beginning of this year, 2018, XRP actually passed Ethereum with incredible ease. It was a really crazy day, and we were all talking about the flippening before happening between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then when this happened, we were all certain that XRP was going to pass Bitcoin. It was all about a certainty on our minds. As the days went forward, XRP went from $1.90 to $3.60, and that was the highest that it ever got. And this, around the same exact time, XRP was incredibly close to passing by Bitcoin. And during that same exact week, Coinbase came out talking about that they weren't going to be adding any other coins, and they said, we're definitely not going to be adding XRP in particular because we're not certain if it's a security, which I know is a complete lie at this point. If they had XRP got to 360 based on a rumor and speculation, because they had noted that they would be adding Bitcoin Cash, and everyone said if they're going to be adding Bitcoin Cash, I think at this point it was like the number 7 or 8 coin, they are definitely going to be adding the number 2 coin to their platform very soon. Price of XRP went up to 360. If they had noted that they were going to add XRP onto their platform, Ripple would have become the #1 coin overnight. There's no doubt. I know you may hate XRP, you may hate Ripple. You know that I'm telling the truth. Ethereum at the beginning of the year was $8, and even at this point in the year, it was $729 because it had been added onto Coinbase. When Bitcoin Cash got added onto Coinbase, it was a couple $100, and it shot up to over $3,000 or $4,000, and it actually shut down Coinbase's website because they couldn't take the traffic that was being put onto their website because of the listing. Imagine what would have happened if they would have added the second coin on the market to their platform. For what it's worth, XRP would have shot above at least $10 to $15, $20 just on pure hype alone of it being listed down. The price would have sunk back down. But the issue is that Coinbase and the Winklevoss twins own an enormous amount of Ethereum and Bitcoin. And this is why, they could not let a coin from their rival overtake the #1 coin in the market. I don't know how much clearer this can get. And like I said, I'm gonna keep going on this video because so much of it makes more sense to me now. Over the last couple of months, I've been trying, and I've been sitting here trying to figure out. I've been looking through all the news and trying to comb through all of it, and I couldn't figure out why all of this was happening. None of this made a lot of sense. See, even on the entire topic, like a lot of people love to talk about all the lawsuits that are happening against Ripple and why they don't like Ripple, whatever the case may be. I don't really care anymore. I spoke about this once again in a video about a week ago. There's a lawsuit, for those who do not know, against Ripple, specifically saying that XRP is a security and that they've been running a never-ending ICO. If they had been running a never-ending ICO for the last 5 years, don't you think the SEC would have come forward and shut them down? Right there. Also on the lawsuit that is claiming that they are a security and have been running a never-ending ICO, they are being the people who are defending them are people who used to work for the SEC who know exactly what securities are, and they're defending them that XRP is not a security. That is also just something. Continuing on, I'm sure a lot of you remember this as well because this was major news, and I didn't talk about it for, I think, about 2 or 3 months when it was happening. I may have touched on it for maybe about 1 day. A lot of people especially who did not like XRP, they thought this was the funniest news in the entire world. They all came forward in my comment section. They were constantly talking about that at some point, Ripple tried to bribe their way to be listed on to Gemini and to Coinbase. And when they did show them the money, that's not me quoting the movie, Coinbase and Gemini both said, no, sorry, we're not going to do it. You can't bribe us. Here's where it gets interesting. Like I said before, Gemini and Coinbase don't really like Garlinghouse. This is the reason why they have had this ridiculous, relationship over the last couple of years. I'm sure you've seen it on TV as well. They never really appear together. And I think they had Garlinghouse and Coinbase, the CEO of Coinbase, sitting side by side once. It was very unfriendly if you watch the actual video. When you actually look around, they told, how do I say this? It's not that Ripple tried to bribe Coinbase and Gemini to put their stuff on. They were told by Gemini and Coinbase, if you want XRP listed onto our platform, you have to pay us. And I think the number that Coinbase told Ripple that they had to pay was $100 million worth of XRP. At some point, the entire thing fell apart because it's a huge amount of money to have your coin listed onto their website. And I assume the same exact thing has happened with Gemini. What's interesting to note is if you Google around, and this is why I love the internet, because all of this information is out there. If you take the time to look, Coinbase and Gemini have told the exact same thing to other coin platforms. It's not just Ripple that they told this to. I think they told this, oh gosh, I can't remember the names. I'm so full of adrenaline right now. They told this to at least 3 other coins, and the coins have come out. This was always very, very, very small news. If I end up finding this news again, I'm going to make another tiny video about it referencing this video as well. They've told other coins who trying to get listed onto Coinbase because they know that Coinbase is the king of the West at the moment for some odd reason. And they said if you give us the money, we'll add you onto Coinbase. But a lot of these smaller projects don't have the millions and millions of dollars in order to be put on to Coinbase. So this is where the entire thing has kind of fallen apart. My belief is, and I know this is going to happen, Coinbase has all but shied away from the idea or the talk of adding XRP. And my belief is over the last 5, 6, 7 weeks, we've had news that Coinbase plans on adding new coins. They're waiting for regulatory clarity, and they also plan on adding support for ERC20 tokens. I told my friend, hello if you're watching, what I'm certain is going to happen at this point is that they've dragged this XRP thing on for so long is that they're going to add XRP, but it's going to be squashed between other coins. At the moment, the rumors are that they're going to add Cardano, they're going to add Lisk, they're going to possibly add Qtum, VeChain, EOS, and a couple of other coins, possibly Omise Go. You know, whatever the case might be, I'm certain that these are going to be, XRP will be squished between these other coins when we do get news. Like I said, if this does end up happening, quote me on this. I'm almost certain they're going to add about 10 coins this year. And when they give the list of the coins that they're going to be adding, XRP will be in the middle of the coin. So they will, acknowledge that they're definitely adding it, but it'll be squished between every other coin that they have. I'm going to call out in this very moment. I don't care how crazy that this sounds, and I'm actually going to find a way to try to contact Coinbase or even post it onto their Twitter. If you can do the same, I'm going to call their bluff. They know that XRP isn't a security. There's no way that Brad Garlinghouse, who is the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company, that is Ripple, would go onto news, onto CNBC or to Fortune and tell them outright that the most regulated coin on the market is calling out Coinbase to tell them to list them. He has never done this before, and the only way that he would have done this is if they had some type of regulatory clarity. Coinbase knows, everyone else knows at this point, that XRP is not a security because there's no way that they would be defended by the SEC in order to put them onto it. To me, what all of this comes down to is market manipulation. And I'm sorry to say that, but this is exactly what it is. Them not listing XRP has pushed the price of XRP down. I don't care what you say. This is the conclusion that I've come down to. And even more so, it's also holding back the entire market. I thought when it comes down to it, you would believe that it was the SEC the SEC not giving us regulatory clarity would have pushed the entire market down. When we've had news about other coins being listed onto Coinbase, what has happened to those coins? What has happened to other coins during the exact same time? The entire Bitcoin discussion isn't, we're not going to even get into that. Bitcoin pushing the entire price down. It comes down to Coinbase not adding additional coins and other coins that they know aren't securities. If these coins were securities, if these coins were hurting investors, as the SEC has said, they would have been called out months ago at the beginning of the entire regulatory timeframe, especially right now, an entire year later. They would not have allowed U.S. citizens. If you have lived in the U.S., you were born in the U.S. like I was, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. When it comes down to something that the SEC or the CFTC or the U.S. government is adamant in their heart and their soul that will somehow affect their economy, or what they say will hurt institutional investors or normal investors in some sort of way, they would have stomped on it immediately. Like I said, you only know what I'm talking about if you were born in the States or have lived in the States for at least 5 to 10 years. You know how the U.S. is. You know exactly how they get down when it comes to money. And I'm all but certain at this point, I believe that this is all manipulation to keep the price of XRP down, because they know that if they had listed XRP, not even on Gemini is whatever. Gemini is such a small exchange compared to Coinbase, that if they had listed it, the investment that they had made specifically in Bitcoin and Ethereum would have been shattered in a matter of moments, because people would have started to sell their Bitcoin for XRP, which would have been the largest coin on the entire market. And just even adding on to this, what I always believed was a loogie in the face, was a complete spit in the face to the entire discussion, was that the Winklevoss twins came out talking about that they added Zcash, which makes no sense, because the entire discussion has come around the entire regulatory framework from the SEC and the US government. They've been calling out privacy coins specifically. They've been calling out Zcash, Monero, and Dash. Japan just did this, and the US has also done this a day ago. They were talking about how we need to get away from privacy coins and exchanges should not list them. This was a smack in the face to the people at Ripple because they have some type of quarrel that is going on. I mean, like, I literally don't know how to end all of this. I am, like I said, I'm not even joking. I'm actually going to post this on Coinbase's Twitter. It could be because I just woke up. Could be because I'm pumped full of adrenaline. But if you put the puzzle pieces together, they know that XRP is not a security. Garlinghouse knows that Coinbase is not a security. The SEC knows that Coinbase, that XRP is not a security. And the entire reasoning behind Coinbase not adding XRP has been that they said that they don't know if XRP is a security. It is literally the last frontier in the cryptocurrency space that does not have some type of, not thumbs up, clarity when it comes to the entire thing. But everyone knows, you and I know, we all know, Garlinghouse would have never gone on TV telling people to add XRP if he knew that he was selling, or that his company was selling, or that his company has sold unregistered, unlicensed, illegal securities on the land of the United States of America. No way on this earth. I don't care what you say. It's all a complete lie. As of now, I'm certain. Like I said, if you are not into Ripple, this video was definitely not for you. I am certain that XRP Ripple should be the #1 coin right now, and it has not been because of manipulation by Coinbase. That's not even all I'm going to say. I literally exhausted every single thing. If I ever talk about this topic again, just tell me not to. I'm just going to reference back to this video because there's not much more that can be said. It's literally completely out of control at this point. I don't know why Coinbase is so reluctant to add this coin. I have a strong feeling why. But at this point, I'm going to say that they're a huge reason why the market is actually down, because all of this uncertainty that we have flying around in the cryptocurrency space. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are, wherever you might be. Everything is clear to me now. Crystal freaking clear. I'm calling complete BS on the entire Coinbase thing. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you all soon. See you.